share my screen. And here we go. So the first thing you want to do is when you're looking at the DPOJs, it's just to kind of check that super sheet, the STLP super sheet, and look at the categories. If you're interested in a category or kids are interested in a category, make sure you know what they're looking for. And so infographics, just, they use text, they use images, and it says that in the description here. They can use charts and graphs and maps and all kinds of stuff. Here is the rubric for infographics, and it just basically says if you use images, make sure you cite those images. If you use facts, make sure you cite those facts. That kind of stuff. So pretty straightforward stuff. You can see, like, if we just look up infographics online, you see a lot of different examples of what these can be. So you see there's a bunch of statistics there. They've got stuff about, like, so this is the history of money, for example, which would be a great infographic, history of money. And they talk about, this one goes in chronological order. There you see from 128,000 BCE all the way to 6,000 BCE. So that's one thing too, is there's usually a flow to infographics. And you'll notice today when I do my Muhammad Ali infographic, the flow is, it starts with when he's born and it ends with the Atlanta Olympics. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to begin here. And the first thing I'm going to need to do if I'm creating an infographic, if I'm a kid, is to get information on a topic. All right. And there are lots of different places you get information. If you've got Brain Pop, I recommend having kids take notes on the Brain Pop videos, guys, because Brain Pop is full of useful information about hundreds of topics. And so I just watched this Brain Pop video on Muhammad Ali, and I gathered information on Muhammad Ali that I'm going to use for my infographic. Another thing besides the video you want to teach your kids about is the related reading section. There's always tons of stuff in the related reading section of these videos that kind of give you quotes and dates and just good stuff about all of these different topics. So that's where I got my information. After watching the video, or as I was watching the video, I took notes, and I did 5 facts here that I'm going to include in my infographic. And so here are my facts that I'm going to use in my infographic. And then from there, I've got my facts. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, and I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to go to More. And you guys know this because we've been working in drawings a lot lately. New, More, Google Drawings. And you remember with Google Drawings, you've got this. It starts off with a square or a rectangle, and you can get it any shape, any size rectangle you like, or square you like in Google Drawings. So those are basically, you can't make it a circle. It'd be great if you could make it different shapes, which, you see a lot of cool infographics that take on certain shapes. Like if I could make this the shape of a boxing glove, that would be amazing. But you cannot. You can make it the shape of a square or a rectangle, but you can make it any size square rectangle you want by pulling it out from the bottom right corner. And so I'm just going to pull it down here. And one thing, really quick tip is to go to View and go to Zoom, and then go. Right now it's at fit 91%. I'm going to make it 50%, and I'm just going to drag it out like that. Okay, I'm going to make it longer towards the bottom. Now I could go this way if I want, but I actually, with infographics, I kind of like to go vertical, but totally up to your kids. All right, so the next thing I want to do is, remember with this checkerboard pattern, that just means it's transparent. There's no background to it. So you start putting stuff on there, that's the only stuff that's on there. So I want to get a background. I want to right click my mouse. I want to go to background, and I want to go to a background color, and I am going to use the color, I'm going to use the color black, actually. I'm going to use black. And then from there, I'm going to go, always best practice, guys, is to name your Google Drawings. So I'm just going to call this Muhammad Ali infographic. So that's something you want to teach your kids. Don't let them just start working and work for an hour and not call it anything. It'll save it. It's not like the old days where, oh my gosh, you did that whole thing and you didn't save. It'll save it, but to find it later, it's always best to name it, right? So now I've got my black background. I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Word Art. All right, Word Art. We used that last week with the Google Doodle. word art. You know, it's that's what you're gonna find here. Is really this is all just word art and images and text boxes. So, but you can make it look pretty. So I'm gonna do this, Muhammad. And notice it says use enter to save, use shift and enter for multiple lines. And so what I could do here is I could try, if I don't want to go all the way across, I can just type Muhammad Ali. Let me try if I do hit shift and enter Ali, and I hit enter, and there's Muhammad Ali there. And then I can resize this. All right. And I can change it to any kind of size font or any kind of style font I would like. Let's see if Roboto looks better than that and make it bold. Yeah, it'll work. I'll stick with Roboto on that. So there's Muhammad Ali. And then from there, I can change the color by going to the what? You can just unmute and just say it, guys. How do I change the color of this text? We go up to the what?
The paint bucket.
Yeah, the paint bucket, exactly. So I'm gonna make it red. Always looks good on black. And then so I'm gonna make that red. But then I'm also gonna go here right next door to the border color, and let's make that a white border and see if that makes it look a little bit better. Actually, yeah, a little bit. I could probably do better. There we go. So make that Muhammad Ali, and then and you know, actually, the more I look at that, the more I don't like that's on the second line. But so I'm gonna change that and just go backspace and make it all in one line. See what happens there. Yeah, there we go. That's much better to me anyway. And I can just rotate that back and make it look, yeah, kind of like that. Okay, good. All right, I feel better about that now. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start looking at my facts. So Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky in 1942. And so from there, okay, so that's a good fact. And what I can even do is your kids could type this out in a text box, or if they've got a separate Google Doc up, they could just Command or Control C and copy that information, and then go to back to their Google Drawing and go to Insert Text Box. Okay, and then they can just, they got their crosshair and they draw a like a rectangle, and they could just paste. And notice right there what happened. Why can't I see what I just pasted in there?
Your text is black.
My text is black, and that happens to kids all the time. They're like, what's going on? So you may want to do that, change that before you paste, or you can just go back and change it after you paste as well. Totally up to you. So I've got my fact in there, and then I can change the font style, or the font size. Let's make it bigger, obviously. And the best part is, remember with Google Drawings, if I run out of room, I just click down here and I make this thing even larger, even longer. All right, so that's a fact there, right? But what I want to do is, because infographics use images and text, I'm going to do an insert. I'm going to do image. I'm going to do search the web. And in that fact, it's got a couple things I could use. One thing I could put in there is I could do word art again, and I could do 1942 and put it right next to that fact. Or Louisville, Kentucky is a great thing. So I could just do Louisville, not Lauren Boebert. Don't do that. Louisville and PNG. So Louisville PNG, or Louisville. Here's something you might think, Louisville flag PNG. So this is actually the old Louisville flag that would have been around when Muhammad Ali was born, actually. So I'm going to use that flag, Louisville flag PNG, and I'm just going to put that on there. Or you could just do a fleur-de-lis or any kind of thing to symbolize Louisville. Totally up to you. So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to put that right next to my fact about Muhammad Ali. So there's that. All right. And remember, even with these, with images, you have the border color option. So if you're not liking the way that looks, see how it's just smack dab on the middle. And remember, the PNG is the clear, transparent image, right? That's why I put PNG behind anything if I want a transparent image. Dog PNG, cats PNG, flag PNG, whatever. But if I click on that image and I can do a border color, maybe I want to do that like a 1 point, and I want to do like a white again. So that kind of makes that a little bit not so much just flush. All right, so there's my first fact about Muhammad Ali. My next fact would be, if I go to Muhammad Ali facts, Clay won a gold medal in the Rome Olympic Games in 1960. So here, again, I can just copy and paste if I would like to do that. Or I can go to back to my Muhammad Ali infographic, and I can just go to Insert, Text Box, and I might type over here. And the way I like to do these infographics actually is I like to have an image, 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 image. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to make sure my font size is, our font color is white. And I would type, Clay won a gold medal in the 1960 Rome Olympic Games. And notice it didn't take the font size with it from up here. So that's something I could do, is I could just copy or I could duplicate that text box actually, which is what I'll do next. I'll show you that, guys, that. But because it didn't duplicate or didn't copy that font size, I've got to come down in here again, and I've got to change that font size to 25. So let's go up to 25. All right. So there's 25. And then for here, I might use something like a gold medal. All right. So I could do, or I could use the Olympic symbol, right? I could use the Olympic symbol. So I could do insert, image, search the web. And then I could type in Olympics, or I could type in gold medal, PNG. Remember, PNG is important because you don't want a background. And here's like a gold medal that I could use there. It's not the gold medal, but it's a gold medal. And I'll put that there, and I'll just resize it using the squares on the edge. So there's that. And then from there, there's two facts, right? Okay. I can go on to my Muhammad Ali facts, and I could do Clay defeated Sonny Liston to win the heavyweight title, and shortly after changed his name to Muhammad Ali. So here's where I'm going to use I'm actually going to use 1964. Okay. So I'll use word art instead of an image this time to kind of show you, all right, how that works. So remember how this didn't copy. If I could draw another text box, but I'm going to have to change the font color. I'm going to have to change the font size and all that stuff if I do that. But if I do this, if I click on the text box and I duplicate, and who remembers how to duplicate? How do I duplicate? Press Control plus
Control C, Control V.
That's copy paste, but to duplicate is what? The clue.
D.
D, yeah, the clue's in the word duplicate, and it's up here too. If you go to edit, you've got duplicate, so you've got Control D. And I'm on a Mac, so it's Command D, but Control D is what you get for duplicate. And I'm gonna go there, and so it just duplicates it. And if I wanted to, I could just duplicate the rest of these out, because if I've got 5 facts, I could just duplicate, and then I would just change the words as I go. So back to my Muhammad Ali facts. He defeated Sonny Liston to win the heavyweight title. I'm gonna actually, yeah, we'll just do that. We'll just go back. Clay defeated Sonny Liston to win the heavyweight title, and shortly after changed his name to Muhammad Ali. Now, you don't want to write a book with infographics, so that's about as long as you want to go. I'm going to go here and leave that right there, and then I'll go add 1964 in word art. So insert image, or not image, insert word art, 1964. Okay, and then I can resize that. And I could make it whatever color I want. So maybe I want to make it, I don't know what a good, maybe let's do gold. Let's do gold, and let's do white as a border color, and let's do a border weight of 2 points, and maybe make it bold. All right. So, and you can change the font style if you want or whatever. Okay. So that's my, that's word art that I could use there. And then here, down here is where I would talk about my next fact. I'm going to go ahead and resize this just a little bit. I'm going to go all the way. You're like, he's going to do this entire thing. Yes, I'm going to do this entire thing because I want to show you guys what this will look like at the end. So here we go. I'm going to go back to my Muhammad Ali facts. And Joe Frazier was probably his greatest rival. They fought 3 times in including the fight of the century and the Thrilla in Manila. So I'm going to put, I'm actually going to copy that and go back here. And notice when I copy it, it does not adapt the font style, okay, that I put in there. So I've got to change back the color, and I've got to, so just stuff to be aware of. Make it back to 25, and I can say Ali fought Joe Frazier 3 times. Okay. Drag that down. Keep dragging this down, and so on. All right, so there's that. And then for Joe Frazier, what I could do is I could do something like, I'm gonna put, see if I can get the, yeah, there we go. I could do insert image, search the web, and I could do, let's see, Joe Frazier, not PNG, because I'm gonna do something special for him. This is gonna be kind of like that Google Doodle last week I did with Garrett Morgan. So I'm just going for Joe Frazier. Then I'm gonna find a picture of Joe Frazier, and I know that's Joe Frazier there. Or I could use an old timey picture of Joe Frazier of what, like when he was actually fighting. But I'm actually gonna use this picture of Joe Frazier. I'm gonna insert. And I'm going to, instead of leaving that a square, I'm going to turn that into a circle. Does anybody know how to do that? How do I turn that into a circle?
Crop.
Yep. Right next to crop there is mask image. Yep. That little down arrow shapes. And I'm going to turn it into an oval or circle. And I'm going to squash him down. All right. Make him like that. And then I could put something in there just to kind of give it some flavor. One thing about Joe Frazier is he was from Philadelphia, and like Louisville loved Muhammad Ali, Philadelphia loved Joe Frazier too. Maybe not to the extent that Louisville loves Muhammad Ali, but he was very well known in Philadelphia, and they named a street after him, and there's a statue and everything like that. So I'm going to do actually the Liberty Bell, just like I did with Kobe Bryant a couple weeks ago. So Liberty Bell. And put that in there, insert. And I might do something like that, put that right next to him, just to kind of give it some flavor. And then the last fact is going to be Ali. What is it? Let's see if I can remember. It's 1996. Nope, actually, I could go on and I could say, the number of wins, which is another word art thing or whatever. But I'm just going to do the last fact, which is 1996 Atlanta Olympics. He lit the opening ceremony flame. So I'm going to go back to my infographic here. I'm going to say Ali lit the opening ceremony, and that may be capitalized. Don't hate me if it is. Olympic flame at the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games. All right, and so that's that. Put that there, and insert image. Search the web. And this time I'm going to look for I'm just going to look for a torch. Okay. I could put the Olympic symbol in there. That might go well in there as well. Or I could put both. That might be something too. I do this. I go insert. I put a torch in there. Resize it. Always resize from the corners. So put that in there. And you know what? I am going to put that Olympic symbol in there. So insert image, search the web, Olympic rings. Yes. I'm going to put that there. And of course it's black, so it's not going to look particularly great against this black background, but you get the gist. And if I wanted to, what I could do there is I could put a square behind it, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to move that over. I'm going to scrunch that down to where it kind of looks about that fits right there. And then the torch is actually behind it right now. So I'm going to send this Olympic ring to the back. So how do I send the rings to the back? I go control down, or right click, send it back. Right click, order, send it back. So I'm going to do control down. There it is. Put that there. And there we go. So, yep. So that is that. That's my Muhammad Ali infographic that I just created for this time. And, you know, I could go back and I could say, maybe I want the font to be bigger, or maybe I want the font to be different. But this is the gist of an infographic. It teaches you something. It's about a concept or a person. In this case, Muhammad Ali. There's a flow to it. You know, it starts with his birth. It ends with the seminal moment in 1996, the Olympic Games. And you look for maybe five to seven facts about something, and that's it. Last year, the middle school winner, the infographic was about corn and how corn is harvested in the United States. So that's something to think. It can be about anything. Literally, you can pick any topic you would like. You can make an infographic about it. So, any questions about that?
What about the references?
Yeah.
So like the images and those facts. So.
So what I would do with that is I would put at the very bottom. Let me go back to present my screen. Back here. All right, so I'm going to present again. What I would do with that is at the bottom. I'm going to grab that bottom corner, drag it out a little bit more. And remember, you may have to do this view, zoom, and zoom out, quite, a few times actually, just to make it to where you get it big enough that you can drag it out. Okay, so I'm going to zoom back in. I'm going to zoom in again. And you can just zoom in all the way if you want. So let's just go view, zoom, do it one more time. All right, so at the bottom here is what I would do is I go to insert, I would go to text box, and I would do something like this. In the bottom corner, I would have your kids type and make sure that if you pick black as your background, it's not the greatest background color, to be honest. You're going to change the font color to like a white or a gold or something that looks good on that source. You would say something like brain pop, and you would cite it the way, or brain pop, Muhammad Ali. And I could actually go to the, where's the Muhammad Ali? Here it is. So if I've got this up, I can go back here and I can copy that omnibar address, that dress from the Muhammad Ali video. So Control C, and then go to there it is. And I could link my source. So there's the paper clip, as the kid called it at Bowen. Click it, paste, apply. It's going to turn a dark blue. You're going to want to make sure your kids change that to a lighter blue. And then, I could say something like, if I want to do like image source, images are, here's the thing though, with the images I use, they were all images from that are marked for fair use because they're in our Google search domain. So that's fine. All your kids have to do with the images, if they just use the ones from our image search available that are filtered out by our internet filters, just have them say that in the reflection. So in the reflection, you say, all images used were marked for fair use without attribution. That's the terminology on that. So these were all Google images search for marked for fair use without attribution. So if you need that in writing, so here's what that looks like. I'll just show you. All images used were marked for fair use without requiring attribution. Okay. Now, if they went to an outside source and got images off of something like the Noun Project, or if they got something out of off a website, or like just a regular Google image search outside of their Google Drive, which is this is right now they're in their Google Drive. They're in a JCPS under JCPS filters. But if they just went to Google Images and looked up or Muhammad Ali pictures, then they would have to cite it. Okay, they would have to cite the source from where they got the pictures. But if they stay within the JCPS stuff, this is your sentence. All images used were marked for fair use without requiring attribution. So, does that answer that question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Perfect.
I had a follow-up question with that. So if they use an outside picture, what is the citing specifics for an outside source?
So I would do almost the exact same thing I did here with the Brain Pop Muhammad Ali video. I would say image sourced. And you can, here's the thing, guys, you can make this really tiny. People do this all the time. They can make this really tiny at the bottom. So it's not like a prominent thing. You could say, let's pretend that this is Joe Frazier image. Joe Frazier image source. And then I've got it, maybe I have like a website I've got it from. Let's pretend that this is the Joe Frazier website. So copy, Control C. And then I would say something like, go back here. And I would say, let's say I got it from joefrazier.com. You know, that's the website. Pretend that's the website, right? And then I would do insert link, a paperclip, and then just link again that source. That's the beauty of the internet now, because it's like back in the day, it's like, you know, you might think about having them pull like a APA site or whatever. But with this, you know, if they cite it, particularly, it's totally appropriate for elementary school to do it where they just cite they link the source they get. Okay, got it from, and they just tell the website. So let's go again, light blue. Does that answer that question? Of you just basically you tell where you got the image from and you link it. And again, one thing, like what I always just tell my kids too is my kids, it was such a fight with my kids when they would cite stuff. They'd say, Google, I got it from Google. Or I got it from google.com. You know, like, no, like you can't, Google took you to where you got it from. So don't let them do that. So that you don't want to say Joe Frazier image source Google. No, that's not the case. They've got to have the website there that they got the image from. Okay. Anything else? All right, guys. Jeff told me that he should have a DPOJ registration form here in the next day or two. So look for that. I'll be emailing you that as soon as it comes out. So March 1st is the deadline for that. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to stop the recording, and I appreciate you